Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she is not autistic in front of her friends? My daughter is one of the most well-adjusted and socially adept people I have met. She has organized her own birthday parties, excelled at debate team, and the feminist roundtable club at her school, where she organized a fundraiser for at-risk young women. I'm beyond proud of her. She is an incredible person, and I truly feel the sky is the limit for her. However, she has recently made a friend group who I believe is not great for her. 3 people, 2 are non-binary and 1 girl, and all of them claim to be autistic. I guess this has rubbed off on my daughter because now she is also claiming to be autistic. My sister is following her on TikTok, and I guess she posts stimming videos and other things. She has given me zero evidence before this point to even entertain the notion that she's autistic. I truly never even considered it until she met these friends. This leads me to believe it is made up. I have noticed that these friends are causing her to distance herself from her other friends that encouraged a more healthy lifestyle. Friends she met in feminist roundtable, for example, who I really like. She does not really do anything anymore, but sit in her room and make videos with these friends about autism. It's really strange and has me feeling pretty bad. The other day, her and her friends were in the kitchen, and my daughter said something along the lines of she wouldn't understand because she isn't autistic about a class. I calmly stated after she said this that she is not autistic either, has self-diagnosed, and shouldn't patronize people by claiming that she is autistic, as it is inappropriate to people who actually struggle. She got furious and stomped up to her room. Her friends followed. She's not talking to me anymore. Am I the asshole for calling out my daughter? Edit. Thanks very much for your thoughtful responses. I made an appointment with a psychiatrist for next week for formal evaluation and apologized to her for my poorly timed comment. Autism doesn't look the same in everyone, especially girls. She most likely isn't, but you could get her checked out for official proof. Not the asshole. Even if your intention is clearly innocent, it can be interpreted as when someone says you don't have depression, it feels derogatory of one's experience. I suggest starting an autism and ADHD investigation to see if your daughter really has the diagnosis, or is just trying to be relevant. Could be that she is masking. Masking is a strategy used by some autistic people, consciously or unconsciously, to appear non-autistic in order to blend in and be more accepted in society. I would also pay attention to your daughter's behavior with her new group of friends. My daughter is extremely organized. Well, beyond her age. There's no way she could be autistic. Have I got news for you, lol? But I see you decided to speak to a professional instead of demanding evidence for your unqualified self. You're the asshole. This situation called for an open, honest and private conversation with your child. Whether she is pretending, hoping, exaggerating, caught up in trying to fit in with these people that matter to her, or if she's actually experiencing things that point to autism. What she didn't need was to be called out and embarrassed by her mother in front of her friends, as it got you without ever sitting her down and hearing her out, or asking any questions. Info. Have you made an appointment to take her to her doctor and get an assessment to get an actual diagnosis or clarification on this? Or are you simply assuming she can't be autistic? Not the asshole. But this seems to be a new trend lately. And I think as a society we are screwed. You are right to call out her bullshit. I had no idea why it suddenly became cool to be autistic or ADHD. I happen to be ADHD, and I have a son who is actually autistic, and we have real struggles. And the biggest thing is that we don't use it as an excuse for anything, nor do we even bring it up in conversation. Your daughter seems to think autism is a club. That in and of itself is evidence that she isn't autistic. Yes, you're the asshole. Not for what you said, but for your timing. Why did you feel the need to embarrass her in front of her friends? She's 15, which is a hard enough time anyway for a person, and a parent has a duty to support their child, not show them up. While she definitely needs to understand the gravity of an autism diagnosis, what that means, and how disrespectful it is to throw it about like she is, It's nothing that couldn't have waited. Now, when you bring it up to discuss it properly, she's only going to focus on the fact that you embarrassed her, and the real important message is lost. Been told this by my parents my whole life. On the track for diagnosis, the assessor said within the first 10 minutes, they're pretty sure I am. Just saying. Just so you know, most psychiatrists don't test for ASD. They can probably refer you to a testing psychologist, but this won't be a one-and-done appointment. Expect to wait for months for the first consultation and weeks more for testing. In the meantime, I suggest educating yourself on what masked autism looks like and having open discussion with your daughter about her thoughts on the matter. Not the asshole, the dreaded TikTok self-diagnosis. I find it so interesting how it is suddenly cool to autistic. We have a generation of kids who desperately want a diagnosis of some sort. Oh, get her formally assessed. I suspect that if the psychologist says she isn't, daughter may say that the psychologist is wrong. It seems this friend group has a strong hold. Not the asshole, but you should re-evaluation your definition of autism. I'm autistic and didn't get diagnosed until my 30s. I was a student, lots of friends, and currently I am the director of the HR department at my company. NTA, but not every autistic person struggles socially, so your intro doesn't prove she's not autistic. It definitely sounds like she's just trying to fit in with her new friend group, though. But it couldn't hurt getting her tested. My mom told me I wasn't autistic for years before I left the house. I got diagnosed the first month I was in control of my own health care. Wow, you just described me the way other people did when I was growing up, and I'm autistic as fuck. I don't think you're the asshole necessarily, but I wouldn't dismiss the tism. We do tend to attract our kind quite a bit, and some of the traits were very relatable to me. So I think you did the right thing overall, and especially with the apology. Not the asshole, but she needs to be assessed by a professional. Even if she's not autistic, there could be a different issue. This seems to be more about OP not liking the new group of friends. That's the part. OP needs to sit down and have a talk with her. See what she's feeling and thinking in general. Well, anecdotally, you could have been describing me as a teenager with my success and apparent social graces, and I was diagnosed as autistic as an adult. I'm not sure if you are Ta, because I don't think you knew, and you seem to be open to considering the possibility, which I really appreciate.